this doesn't make any sense at all. He thinks he's being sneaky and sneaking into this property on a side-by-side, a gasoline-powered side-by-side, and then he's gonna whisper while he's trimming trees. I said, that's like someone driving through my living room on a four-wheeler, parking it in the middle of my living room in front of my recliner, and getting off and whispering, hey, there's a guy that lives here, we're gonna be quiet. What's up, guys? It's Daniel from Arms Family Homestead, and today I'm back out at the Mill Creek property here at the cabin doing a little bit of work. I've been over here for the last couple days. I actually brought the TYM tractor and my brush cutter and stuff, and I've been trying to make some, well, a couple different things. Some final preparations for deer season. The youth rifle season is coming up in just a few days, and really just kind of doing some cleanup because obviously our growing season is done, and we're not getting any rain to get any fall grass. You know, in the fall we'll get like it's called cheat and brome grass and stuff to pop up under the trees and things. None of that's growing, so I'm just doing some cleanup. As you can see, the tractor is quite filthy right now, and that's because I was out here for about half the day yesterday working, and without any rain, it was just dust. Like, I'd have to stop the tractor every couple hours and clean out the filter on the front of the tractor so that it wouldn't overheat and stuff. But as you can see, it's like cloudy and overcast today. We got a little shower a few minutes ago. When I say a little shower, the ground's not wet, but when it hit the dust on the tractor, it just made a muddy mess on there. But basically, I'm just kind of cleaning up some of the areas that we cleared before. A lot of little shrubs, and the brush has tried to pop back up, so not really brush hogging, not really mowing fields or anything, but just trying to make some progress and make this place look good, clean it up, and then have some places where this winter, when we're just out here hanging out at the cabin, we can just look and see under the trees and stuff. So anyways, time to get back to work. Now, I know a lot of you are probably thinking, why in the world is this guy out here on a tractor mowing on a property where he's planning on deer hunting in a couple days? Well, let me tell you, I have a few different, I don't want to call them theories, but I probably hunt a little bit different than a lot of people. And I will say this, deer hunters can be some of the most judgmental people of other deer hunters that I've ever met. Hey, it's raining. Huh. Probably lasts about a minute. Anyway, so let me explain, like traditional bow hunters. You take a guy that shoots recurve or a longbow or self-bow guys that go out and build their own bow are really judgmental of guys that hunt with a crossbow or a compound bow. First off, the compound bow. To some guys, if you walk in the woods with a compound bow, you don't know what you're doing. You're not a hunter. Then come along the crossbow. And then the compound guys don't like the crossbow guys. Blows my mind. And it's kind of falls into the same category as baiting versus not baiting. Some states it's not legal to bait deer, others it is. Oklahoma, it's legal. But I have different theories on deer hunting. And what I mean, like, I watched a video this morning, a fellow YouTuber, awesome guy, awesome channel. I'm not going to mention the name because I really do respect him and love his channel. But he's really big into deer hunting right now. And he was going out in the woods. He'd been running some game cameras and had been hunting a certain area of a property, and a big buck came in on another area of the property, and he was like, I think I'm going to sneak over and try to hunt this side of the property. So he goes in about midday. He drives his gasoline powered side-by-side in there to his bow stand where there's a feeder and everything, which is fine. And then he gets out and he's like, we got to be really quiet, and we're going to sneak in here and we're going to trim some trees and get some shooting lanes opened up, but we're going to sneak in at midday. Well, I'm like, didn't you just drive your side-by-side in there? But that's fine, whatever. But I know I'm not going to sneak past all of these deer. These deer know we're on this property. I mean, it's where they live. I told my wife this morning, I said, this doesn't make any sense at all. He thinks he's being sneaky and sneaking into this property on a side-by-side, a gasoline-powered side-by-side, and then he's going to whisper while he's trimming trees. I said, that's like someone driving through my living room on a four-wheeler, parking it in the middle of my living room in front of my recliner, and getting off and whispering, hey, there's a guy that lives here. We're going to be quiet. So I don't believe I'm trying to sneak past deer. We've been very successful over the several years at getting the kids to harvest really good quality deer, and that's not by accident, and it's not by luck. We are very familiar with the property. We're very familiar with how the deer live and move and feed and bed on properties. This place is new. I'm still trying to learn it. But funny story. I'm gonna grab the four-wheeler and run over to our food plot, which is not a food plot because we haven't had any rain to plant any seed. Which, by the way, it already quit raining. So we've been feeding this Lucky Buck mineral all year to our deer, and this is just straight up a mineral. It's apple flavored, but it doesn't seem like the deer are hitting it too much. So I've started switching to this Freak Factor. It's a supplement. You can mix it with feed. If you got a corn feeder, you can pour, a bag of this in with a couple 100 pounds of corn. But if you pour it straight on the ground, like right now, our deer are hungry. It's real high in protein. It's got a real high mineral content and stuff. But the deer just destroy it if I pour it on the ground, and they eat the Lucky Buck mineral a lot slower. So I'm gonna mix the two together and put some out, and then maybe that'll kind of slow their feeding down on this stuff. So let's go put it out real quick. So the area that I just mowed, cleaned up, was kind of off to the side of our pond that we just built. Obviously the pond's still dry, but I see a lot of deer come in and start feeding and stuff in the evenings when I'm here. So knocking that tall brush and grass down makes it, just a little easier to sit at the cabin and watch the deer. So back to that story I was going to tell you. 2 days ago, I guess it was, Houston and I were over here, and we came back to this part of the property where, this was our field that we opened up in the middle of the timber. It's probably 2 acre-ish altogether, and we set up this ground blind that we just drove past right there. It is 65 yards from the ground blind to where I'm standing. But Houston and I were here on the tractor. We drove my tractor with the front end loader bucket had the ground blind and everything, all of our extra corn to refill the feeder and all that stuff. We drove over here, set up the ground blind. Earl was with us, and Earl chased an armadillo barking through the woods. And we're thinking, well, there's not going to be any deer here for a while. Well, Houston and I topped off the feeder, set the blind up, and left. And there's a game camera right here. I think it was less than 15 minutes. There were deer standing here. And within about 30 minutes, I bet there was 12 deer in this field that I could see just on this one game camera. So we're not being sneaky. Those deer know when we're here. Now, during deer season when we're hunting, is it important to have proper scent control and hunt the wind and all that stuff? Yes, it absolutely is. When the deer know we come in on a tractor or a four-wheeler, they hear us, they see us, they know we're here, they see us leave. Obviously, that right there was the proof that said, hey, I thought maybe at my house where we live, the deer just get so used to us being out on the side-by-side and four-wheelers and stuff, they would be accustomed to our scent and our smell and everything. We're not here a lot. This is a new property. We've never hunted it. And these deer, it don't take them long to figure us out. All right, so I mixed up the mineral and the supplement. We're just gonna dump this out here. By the way, it is raining again, just a little bit. Just barely enough to get me wet. But we do wanna help these deer. I mean, I kinda do feel sorry for them. There's not a lot to eat this year. So this will give them lots of mineral and a powerful protein attractant to help them along. But there are a ton of deer on this property, and I tell you what, I'm excited to sit right there in that ground blind in just a few days with my kids, and more than likely harvest a deer or two off this property. Drought has been really rough on a lot of trees. Yes, it's fall and the leaves should start falling soon, but it's a little early for us. However, this pine tree, which the previous owner planted probably 30 something years ago, is really struggling. I hope it doesn't die. Kind of looks like it might have. There's one over there that's still nice and green, and that one back there is nice and green. And I think we're gonna lose this one. Real quick. So I've been using the Lucky Buck Freak Factor and my game cameras to kind of learn what the deer are doing on this property, how they're moving, where they're coming from, directions and stuff, because you can get a lot of information with a game camera. And just a few days ago, Houston and I, the same day that we set up the blind on that other spot, we literally drove my pickup right here, dumped a bunch of that Freak Factor out on the ground, put this camera on that tree, and I thought, well, maybe we'll have some deer here in a day or two. I tell you, these deer are hungry, and I'm gonna say within an hour, I don't know, I'll have to look at the timestamps on the game cameras, we had deer standing in front of this camera. So I'm gonna move it. Yeah, there's a lot of deer coming into that spot, but trying to learn their patterns and figure them out. So I'm gonna go set this thing up somewhere else and put that mix of mineral and Freak Factor out and see how long it takes for them to find it. figured you were gonna die. Sounded like crap over there. All right, got the camera set up. I think this would be an incredible spot to bow hunt. I came in and cleaned it up a while back, and we're on the edge of a big field right here and huge bedding area back this way. You can see that's super thick cover, and I think that dark spot right there next to that really dark oak tree would be a great place to set up a ground blind. I mean, there's already some little chocolate berries on the ground in here, and I know the deer are coming through here in this. There's a huge, like I said, bedding area right there, and I think at night, look at this. Okay, you guys tell me what this is. This is some sort of plum tree. I'm not sure what kind of plums those are, but good food source. It's about dropped most of its berries. There's still quite a few here, and there's a bunch of these scattered around this property. Some kind of little plums, some sort of wild plums. I'm sure the deer are eating them, and that's why there's poop right here on the ground. But like I said, I typically, well, almost only hunt out of a ground blind. It's just totally different being at eye level with white-tailed deer. Look at this. Here's some of these that I picked up. Something's been sitting here eating them. There's the seeds. See all the seeds right here? Probably squirrel or a raccoon or something. But anyways, I love to hunt out of a ground blind, and I think that dark hole right back there would be a perfect spot to set up a ground blind. And you're looking at maybe 40 yards to the farthest point in the open that I've cleared out, and with the right wind, set tucked back under that big cedar tree, deer are going to come out right before dark to this little small field, way before they would out in a big wide open field. So I don't know, we'll see what shows up here. So I say all this to say, I don't know that there's a right and a wrong way when it comes to white-tailed deer hunting. Everybody has their own way, everybody has their own tactics, and we probably shouldn't shame each other for deer hunting. It depends on what your goals are at the time. Like for me right now, my goal is to get my kids in the woods, to see as many deer as possible, to teach them as much as I can about white-tailed deer and every other animal in the woods. See as many deer, harvest what they can harvest, and enjoy the fresh venison on our table. That may not be your goals right now, and that's okay. Some guys want to get out here, target one specific deer, and they're going to hunt all season until they see that one specific buck. Other people are going to come out here and live by the theory, if it's brown, it's down, and they're going to fill their freezer. I'm okay with all of that. As long as you're doing what's ethical, morally right, and legal in your state, dude, just get out there and enjoy some deer hunting. But I got one other thing I want to show you. I'm trying to get set up for, and it has to do with that little bitty white dot right there, about 200 yards across the pond. So one thing that was a huge goal for me, and I've taken a lot of pride in, was, well, documenting all of my kids' hunts, so videoing them hunting. And but the main thing was I wanted all of them to harvest their first deer with one specific rifle that was my dad's. My dad passed away several years ago. The two youngest never got to meet my dad, but he was a very important person in my life. And he hunted with a Remington Model 700 243. And I took that gun after he passed away and have harvested a ton of deer with it. And my goal was for all of my kids to harvest their first deer with that rifle. And they've done that. Matter of fact, every deer that all three of my kids have harvested has been with that Remington Model 700. That means a lot to me. I don't know why, it's just kind of a sentimental thing. But this year, I went out and I actually bought the kids a deer rifle to use. Now they're going to share it. Emily and Houston are going to share this, and they'll both hunt with it this year. But if for some reason we end up hunting in two different places at the same time, if I go with Houston and Mom goes with Emily or whatever, we'll still have that old Remington 243. But let me show you this, because I got this out here yesterday, sighted it in, and I'm telling you, I love this gun. Now you guys know I don't show a ton of gun content on this channel, but I want to talk about this because I'm very impressed. I pulled this out, put the scope on it, brought it out here, set up a target at 50 yards, had to make some minor adjustments, backed up to 100, made a few more tweaks, and I was out here yesterday at about 300 yards. So I was back past that little bitty pine tree back there on top of that hill. It was like 280, something like that maybe, and was hitting that little small steel target out there. I mean, it still needs some tweaking. Not that my kids are going to be shooting 300 yards, but let me tell you about this thing. This is a CVA Cascade bolt action rifle. It's got an 18-inch barrel. It is threaded, so if we wanted to put a suppressor on it, we could, which we may end up doing just to because we ground blind hunt a lot and we're close quarters hunting with each other. But I paired it with a Vortex Viper, if it'll focus, 4-16 by 50 scope. And man, I'm telling you, this is a sweet shooting gun. It is a 6.5 Creedmoor, so something that's perfect for whitetail deer and not gonna kick the snot out of my kids when they shoot it. So I'm gonna take a couple shots. We're at about, like I said, maybe 200 yards, maybe 180, 200. I'm gonna set up and shoot a little bit just because I enjoy shooting this thing. I don't want to make fun. I'm a lefty, so I have to load a rifle backwards from what most of you people do. So just FYI, if you're looking for a good little compact rifle to hunt with, this has an 18-inch barrel. The CVA Cascade, not sponsored. I went out, bought this rifle myself, and I love shooting it. It's the first 6.5 Creedmoor that I've ever owned, and man, I'm telling you, I haven't really dialed it in. I'm shooting probably a 10 by 14-inch steel plate down there, so we probably do need to do a little bit more dialing in on the scope, and I need to let the kids shoot it several times before, but they're probably going to be realistically taking a shot from 50 to 100 yards. They're not going to be shooting out at 200, 250, but it is fun just to get out here and shoot. I really like this. This thing right here from Homestead Implements has been a beast. Pretty much cuts anything I need it to within reason. You know, we're not trimming, we're not trying to like use it as a bulldozer or a brush cutter that it's not meant for, but for cleaning up, man, keeping things mowed. It's not a finish mower. It'll cut, you know, trees a couple inches, maybe 3 inches in diameter if you're careful. But Homestead Implements is where I got it from. Ooh, I just about made a mistake. About forgot to close my lock on my tilt deck for my trailer. Got to have that pin in there. Wouldn't be good. All right, let's get on the road. I got to go pick up the kids. And I just absolutely love this place. Purchasing this property was a little bit scary, but I'm so thankful we did. I have so much fun just working here and improving it and making it better, and hopefully making it to where my kids can come over and harvest some deer to put in our freezer and make memories together. And this winter, I guarantee you, Houston and I at least are going to be spending quite a few nights in the cabin. I don't know if Mom and Emily will come over when it's cold or not, but we'll see. But anyways, yeah, got a little bit of rain, kind of got a little bit of a shower on me while I was loading the tractor. It's already stopped again, so it's not really a measurable amount, just enough to get my shirt wet. And I am not complaining. So anyways, guys, that's all I've got for today. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. You guys have a great day. And as always, we'll see you on the next video.